on Power Struggle. And when God showed me this, man, there's some things we're gonna get into. And I know this is easily gonna be a 4 to 6 week series, but I mean to hear the Lord lay stuff out, it's a game changer. It really is. It's a game changer. It's phenomenal. I mean, the way God tell the word to me, the way He say things, the way He put it, it's phenomenal. I can't explain it, but I'm grateful for it. I really am. And when He gave me this, the first thing He showed me, which you're gonna go over, was the lady that had an issue of blood for 12 years. That's the first thing He showed me about power struggle, and I didn't understand what it meant. And He said, "Well, first of all, take the faith." Then He said, "Obedience." Okay, and worship. And then there's a struggle that comes at the end with the enemy. But when I thought about faith, obedience, and worship, he said to me, that lady that touched his garment, he said his garment, was pulling at his power when she did it. Pulling. He said, if you worship, you're obedient, you have faith, you're pulling at his power. That's what he told me. Cool. Can you imagine that? So I'm going to show you through this series how we have access to the power of God. We've already been given permission. It's there. It's like having a card, your parents' card, you just swipe it, you have an amount you can use. It's right there already. We have access into the power of God, and it's usable. Right here, reach above, you can see people use it. So, you might not know the PIN number. Let's figure that out together. Let's figure out the PIN number for each of us. This is that 4-digit code, and they ask for that in the back. Let's figure, but we have access to use it. So let's figure out how God wants us to get into this access. And that's what He's shown us through this worship, faith, and obedience, this power struggle. We need to learn this because I want to be a part of everything God got for me. And I want you to have everything the Father has for you. So we'll start our year off like this, okay, on power. So we understand our struggle pulling this power from God, this power. And let's talk about power a little bit, what it looks like, okay? Right now, we're going to jump right to Exodus 9 because right here, the seventh plague is what I want to focus on because of the word power. And that word is koi. And there's several different ways the word power is used. And let me explain this real quick. When you see folks that they're talking about pretty much how God, the Hebrew or the Greek, they often say, well, in the Greek, this says this or it says that. What's normally going on is they'll find there's so many different usages of words, wordplay, and they'll find one that match the sermon and use it. So sometimes it's not good to get so attached on one word. If the pastor in the Hebrew, this says, we know the Hebrew being the Old Testament and the Greek being the New Testament, but sometimes there's different meanings to the word. And like us in our language, you got to find out what better match what you're saying. Okay, so that's what's going to happen with the word power here. So, be careful. When someone say that, don't look it up. I put it up here so you can see yourself. You can go look it up. But koa, and that's usually with a C. It's koa, and it's CH, koa. And it's strength, power, might, ability, office, and physical strength, ego, good health. And there's areas in the Bible that says strength or power. It's the same word, koa, strength and power. They just use strength there. Okay. There's area where you'll see in the King James Version, you're going to see where you use the word virtuous. That was power. Just a bad translation is what it was, but it was actually power there. So let's get into this seventh plague. Okay. And then we're going to jump around. We're going to talk about the word power. That's what we're going to do this week. Then the Lord said to Moses, rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh and say to him, thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, not one of your plague gods that's coming. Okay. Let my people go that they may serve me. For at this time, every time I say that part, I hear that old song, let my people go. I don't know why I hear like an old black slave singing that song, but I hear it in my head. Let them go. 14, for at this time I will send all my plagues to your very heart and on your servant and on your people, that you may know that there's none like me in all the earth. First of all, how we get to the seventh plague? Moses, Pharaoh, if I'm Pharaoh, are you seriously going to let God don't have to tell me nothing 7 times and punish me for it. I mean, that punishment hurts. I don't know how you get to 7 plagues for getting beat by God. For me, it's like, whoa, but here we are. Verse 15, now if I had stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with pestilence, then you would have been cut off from the earth. Now, look what God is saying. You're going to notice nothing like me on the earth, but if I stretch out my hand and hit you with pestilence, cut off from the earth. But indeed, For this purpose I've raised you up, that I may show my power in you, and that my name may be declared in all the earth. That's what he's saying to him. And I'm going to use this word for the disobedient, saying it's to Pharaoh. My core. I'm going to use my power in you, and that my name may be declared all the earth. So it leaves us two options for those that will. Right here, two options presented here: be cut off from the earth or receive God's power. I want to be on the side that receives his power. I don't want to get to where I'm just cut off from the earth. I want to fully receive the power of God. No. For me, there's nothing no excuse. I don't have nothing there. Just God, I'll take one power, please. That's who I am. I'm not that type of person. I'm not a person that'll fight and argue long if I know punishment's there. I don't like punishment. But I want that power. Look, co-op, physical strength, y'all can read what that's about, the different Guvara, the inner courage, spiritual might, just different uses of the word. Even Kail, that's efficiency, wealth, or military power. You see somebody with, and that's just, you got Greek and Hebrew together. This is fortitude, boldness, and weapon. We're gonna walk through these a little bit more to get a better understanding of this word power, okay? Beware that you do not forget the Lord your God, when Deuteronomy 8, by not keeping in his commandments, his judgment, his statutes, which I command you today, lest when you have eaten and are full and have built beautiful houses and dwelt in them, and when your herds and your flocks multiply, and your silver and your gold are multiplied, and all that you have is multiplied, when you start making money, when you get a promotion, you know how it is when you say, God, when I get this promotion or when I get these bills paid off. Old people just say, when my ship come in, them jokers never got that ship. None of them got the ship. That ship didn't come. I don't know what ship they were talking about. Ship full of gold never came, just to believe that I'm going to do this or that for you. Let me tell you something. God say, when you're blessed, when you see the favor on you, when you got finances, right? That you say, when your heart is lifted up and you forget the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. When you forget that God that got you the job, that got you the raise, got you the little extra change, the God that helped you, when you forget about it, from the house of bondage, when you was once locked up, when you escaped, you forgot me, but you prayed the whole way out. You needed me then. Oh God, please. Forgot. My mom was beating me one time. Back then they had them switches with the leaves on the end of it. And she was whooping me for no reason, man. Okay, you know it was a reason. But she was whooping me, and I remember asking God to help. Like, God, I was screaming, like, please. And when she let me go, she would hit me while I was running. She was still hitting me, man. And she had that extra, like, meat right here. Every time she hit, that power kicked in for that arm meat. And I remember running, and I asked God to help me. And when I was ducking some stuff. When I got out of there, I didn't thank God for getting me out. I turned back and stuck my middle finger up and stick my tongue up at the door that my mom was walking away from. Now, she didn't see it. But I did the opposite of thanking God. I turned mean and nasty, and I was so mad that I got whipped. That's how we are. When God get us out of there, sometimes he get us out of an enemy's clutch, and we turn around and turn and start throwing rocks at the enemy versus praising God. You couldn't handle them while you was there. So no need to go back to hurl insults, okay? Well, 15. Who led you through the great and terrible wilderness in which which were fiery serpents and scorpions and thirsty lands where there was no water? Who brought water for you out of the flinty rock? Who fed you in the wilderness with manna? I mean, what is it? Which your fathers did not know, that he might humble you and that he might test you to do good in the end. See that? You went through some situations so you'll do good at the end. Sometimes a rough start can make you humble towards the end. And I'm not saying old age, because some people end a whole lot faster than old age. I'm just saying you want to end this race the right way. And he's telling them, this is one of the only places you'll read this like this. He said, listen, you've been through that so I can test you so the way you do right towards the end of this thing. We take the test and we turn on God with it. We say, God, I went through all that, therefore I can act like I act now. He said, nah, that was supposed to strengthen you. 17, then you say in your heart, my power and the might of my hand has gained me this wealth. There you go. We think the power that's in us is enough, and that done it. We've done it. I used my power. I was thinker. And when you go talk to people, they always ask, what's the secret? How did you get there? How did you work this out? Because they want to mimic it. What's good for me is not good for them. I heard a rapper say that. Jadakiss said that one time. What's good for me is not good for them. I believe that. It's not always good for everybody. What's good for you? And sometimes you can tell somebody something become poison to them. It don't work for them. Just not the same. It's not the same. I don't care what you do. Don't think that God's favor on you is supposed to be for somebody else, because it's not. It's not. We all make a favorite sandwich right now. Them sandwiches are gonna look different every time. I was talking to the lady in Subway. I asked her, "What's the weirdest sandwich you ever made?" Sage, you was in there with me, and I think she said somebody had meatballs with the sauce and they put tuna on it. And I'm thinking, why you make that? She said, "Ain't my sandwich." I mean, they asked for it, and that's just everybody has a different taste. Now theirs is gross. I don't care who you are. That's nasty. But that's just my opinion. Verse 18, and you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power. See, once again, back there, you thought it was your power. God gives you power. I'm going to talk about power here. There's an accessible power that God wants us to have. He don't want us coming to him for it. See, that means connection. Let me just, in case I get some people some heretics in here, think I'm teaching heresy. That's us having a connection with God. Therefore, is if you move out and do your own thing, you have to come back and knock on your parents' door because they'll change the locks. But I'm telling you something, when you live in a house, you have room in the house. If you stay connected, you'll have a connection. I seen kids move away from their parents, don't call them for a year. Then they come back and mad because they use their room for a workout room or office. You moved all my stuff out the room. They get upset because things are different. But I've seen some kids that stay connected every week. They come by and they calling their mom and dad and connecting, letting them know what's going on in their life. They know what's happening. They have access to things that the other kid don't have access to the same, though the love may be still there. I'm saying God can still love you, but at the same time, your accessibility is not the same. And I want access. That's what he's saying. I give you power to stay connected, stay rooted, to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant. Hold on, which he swore to his fathers this day. Oh, what covenant is that? He swore to the fathers that he's going to make sure we have power. And look what it says, to get wealth. Now, some places act like it's a sin for you to pray for wealth. They don't go to his grace. Tell you, now I need some money. No, I need some money. I pray for it. I don't care what nobody say, but the bills due. I need money. I need to cover it. Not only for the bills, I don't want to just pay my bills. Things I like fun. There's some things I want to have fun doing. I want you to have some fun doing. I want you to have savings. I don't want you, people die from stress. Money can't fix everything, but it can help a lot. He said right there, wealth. Wealth is more than money. It's a value. 19. Then it shall be, if you by any means forget the Lord your God and follow other gods and serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day, you shall surely perish. If you decide to make the money or the things or your own will your forefront and worship them, let them be what goes in front of you, you're going to perish. That's how it works. As a nation which the Lord destroys before you, so you shall perish, because you will not be obedient to the voice of your Lord God. You ain't want to listen to God, that voice he's telling you with, so guess what? You'll perish with the things. That makes sense. You're going to follow something else that's perishing. He already says these little worthless idols are perishing, so why would you make them a God for you? Look, Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. I went here first because we need to understand there's power in our tongue. We're going to figure out how to get this accessible code to have the power of God so we can access it and have the permissions already given us to use it. Some of us are hurting for reasons we can actually have cast out of our life. We think we're broken. You're not broken. The enemy's at you. You think your thoughts are broken or you just can't do right, or I don't know why I can't get over these things, or I have these bad habits. That's the enemy attacking you. You're not broken. Let's just check into what God wants for your life. Quit telling yourself that. Quit believing that lie. Quit walking in those footsteps saying, I've always been this way, or my parents are this way, or I can't help that I have these thoughts, and begin to understand the mindset first that you can climb out of this. There's going to be a struggle. You have some stuff. It might not happen overnight. You're going to limp a little bit. It's okay. Sometimes it take a while for the smell lingers sometimes. It's okay. Just keep going forward. Don't worry about people's faces when they frown up because you're still struggling. They're going to frown up. Come on, Jesus wasn't good enough. Look what it says about the tongue. There's power. There's power in your tongue. Be careful what you say. Every idle word will be cast down in the end. So be careful and know that you're speaking power on yourself and others. Look what it says there. The word here is yod. That word yod, that's a different uses of the power. That's why I put that there. You remember we talked about koach. Now we're talking about yod. And this is hand by extension. What I mean by that is it becomes a physical, the tongue works like an extension of your outward physical body. What he said, when he used power there, he's saying you're physically making things happen, just like you grab something and drop it. I know that I'm holding this controller, and the remote control here, and I know that I'm holding this mouse, and the tongue will work just that easy. Things will happen in your life that you spoke. If you give people permissions to speak in your life, you better be careful what you're doing and who you're giving it to, because they'll begin to speak in your life. Things you don't want, things they want for you, which may be good things according to them, but not where God is taking you. So if someone is speaking in your life, they need to be clear on the vision that God has put on your life. That way they can speak accordingly. They might say great things. I hope you prosper right there at that job and become the boss. And God is telling you you're going to have your own business. You see what I'm saying about that? He might be sending you somewhere else. He might be saying, I know some people that right now, they want to go overseas into one of these third world countries and they want to minister and just get down in the dirt with them and build schools up. And if I was to go pray for them, hey, I pray that finances just fall in for you and you get this big house over here on the hill and you get this new car. You remember, and the job promotes you, they'll be so crushed. That's not what they want. That's not who they are. They know what God called for their life. That's why Yah is that finger. It's a control, power, strength, direction, and care. Yah. Think that through. Yah. I give y'all this note. You can look them up. Yah. I'm not telling you nothing. I just want you to see what some folks won't always show. And you see there's more uses of this thing. Let's look. Let's move on. Look, untamable tongue. Now that we talked about the tongue in Proverbs 18, let's go to James 3. My brethren, let not many of you become teachers. That was teachers, King James said masters. These are pastors. Pastors. Now listen, I didn't read y'all this. I ordained many of you guys. I didn't read y'all this part. And good. I got you. You're here now. I got you. You serve. You're a pastor of his grace now. Look what it said, knowing that we shall receive a stricter judgment. So now I didn't read that at your ordination. You might have changed your mind. I'm not going to tell you you're going to be getting stricter judgment. No, you're here now. Now you're here. You're there. You're a pastor. You can't get out of it. You can't go to God and give it back. There's no way. But now that you're a pastor here, you're going to receive stricter judgment on you. It's going to be a little bit rougher. Sorry. I didn't realize this first when I did your ordination. There's no way I'd read this at ordination. I'm not going to do it, but it's the truth. Hey, y'all got Bibles? Read it yourself. Nah, I ain't reading the whole Bible. I just skipped over this part. Look, for we all stumble in many things. There's always something to stumble over. If anyone does not stumble in word, he is a perfect man, able also to brittle the whole body. You know good and well, one of the hardest things to do. I know people that work out, got discipline, they run, jog, they do things accordingly, but that mouth of theirs is hard. That tongue is hard to brittle. Oh my goodness, man. You ever find yourself like that? You just want to, you're arguing with your spouse and then it says something you don't like, and you just like, oh my God, I want to just tell that person, oh, they're so wrong here. Or a parent, you can't tell your parent to say you're being grown. As parents, we're wrong a lot. And sometimes your child hears, oh, I want to tell them they said this last week, and they're going to tell me I'm wrong, and they got to hold their tongue because they won't get slapped. But your parent wrong. That's a hard thing to do. And that takes maturity and strength from God. He's saying, but if you're a perfect man, but that tongue will create a situation that only your behind can get you cash in. You're going to get in some hurt stuff if you don't control and brittle that tongue. That's what he's saying here. There's power in the tongue. There's powers in words. You know that phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. They lied. They lie. I don't know what it's saying, but don't listen to idiotic. Man, folks made them nursery rhymes. They lied. They can get hurt. Look at verse 3. Indeed, we put bits in horses' mouths that they may obey us, and we turn their whole body. Look also at ships. Although they are so large and are driven by fierce winds, they are turned by a small rudder wherever the pilot desires. Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasts great things. It's so small, but it's going to get you into a big fire. You'd be in an argument for an hour just for one word. You really can. You can slip up and get fired just from saying one thing wrong with your boss. You can crush and hurt somebody just for saying something so simple. But you can build your life around things you speak to. There's good things. I know some couples that, one couple in particular, man, oh my God, they'll get into it and they'll try to work it out. And they'll say, you said this and I said that. So we need some time. And they'll pull apart. And I ain't never seen nobody like them. And let's come back together. And they'll talk and they'll sit down and caress and say what hurt them. And these are super Christians, man. They got a big old ass. I don't know how they do it. I'm like, what? I can't even teach that because I know I can't do it. I get mad. Well, whatever then. I walk outside. I'm going outside, get it myself. I'm not about to sit and argue with her. She crazy. I go outside and God said, no, you crazy. Get in there and say sorry. Now I come back in there. I'm sorry for what I said. The tongue did it again. But they'll just talk it out. And they'll get mad. Say, I'm angry and walk off. Oh my God. They're amazing. They're amazing. Oh God, they're amazing. I mean, they don't know how amazing they are, but that's what we need to be like. That's how it works. That's how it works. Oh my goodness. Let me move on. Untable to see how great a force a little fire kindles. See how a little fire, you know, they said the most fires that's going on, especially in California and West Coast, a little light, somebody left a little spark or something on a campfire. Or we used to have a bear, Smokey the Bear. He's the only you can stop forest fires, and he'd be out there. And I used to wish that thing got caught in a forest fire because I was an ugly bear. But he's flick a cigar or a cigarette, some out, and in the fire, everything burns up. They said just a little cigarette can do it. That's our tongues. Just the slightest thing will burn everything up. Now, I had a sermon I taught this because the tongue is the only thing that can make you feel the actual, real, tangible fire of hell. Not a lighter, actually how the fire of hell feels. Because it says it. It says right here, it defiles the whole body. The tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body and sets on fire the course of nature. Meaning, well, it's just natural. Well, it's going to burn up what's natural. When people say that, oh, it's supposed to go this way. This is how the events of life should go. You're going to say, something's wrong with my life. Things aren't going the way I planned. Well, guess what? And it sets on fire by hell. You're literally walking a path of hell because of things you're saying. You ever said the phrase, man, I've been going through hell. Yep. Yes, you have. You're walking. That word hell is your hinder. Actually, a fire pit is actually hell. The actual hell. Or Saint Net, that same fire, like he scoops for that fire and put it right there in your path. That tongue can do that to you. It can send you right up a path of hell if you're not careful. Please be careful. Yo, I'm walking through a path of hell. Yeah, you have. That's it. For every kind of beast and bird and reptile or creature of the sea is tamed as and has been tamed by mankind, but no man can tame the tongue. Can't do it. It is an unruly evil full of deadly poison. So you got to put that thing on a leash. I'm telling you. With it, we bless our God and Father. With it, we curse men who have been made in a similitude of God. You believe that? So your cursings and blessings coming out the same mouth. Someone that's made in the image of God, we decide to curse them out because they made us mad. And that's easy to do. That's easy to do. We was in J.C. Penney's, and it's a mean lady there. And I wish before the Lord that she hear this sermon because this is about her. She's so mean. Every time we go in there, she'll just don't want to take our returns. I can't find it and switch it back like this. And my wife is so godly. She said, well, what can I do to help you find it? Now I'm thinking, what can I slap to help you find it? But she's like, what can I do to help you find it? Because I work retail. So I understand it should be da da da. She's pushing the code in wrong. Well, it's not here. Well, we're not about to give y'all no free money. And she just shoved it back. Every time we go to this lady's disrespectful and rude, but my wife just stayed patient until this lady find it. And she said, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. She said, she sit right there. Okay. And then she finds it every time. Okay. I found it. And she's nasty about it. She's bagging stuff like that. For some reason, I understand the reason. It's called favor. Favor look good on you. Favor look better than them clothes you wear. Favor, boy, you ever wear something, somebody look at you like, she ain't wearing that right, or he don't look good in that. Let me tell you something. My brother and I get them watches on, you can't tell us nothing. Favor look better than that. Favor looks good on you, and people hate it. They can't stand to see you walking with God, that anointing, that glow. You have people that'll lead you that hate that about you. They'll lead you all through dirt because they're scared you're going to outshine them. I seen pastors lead a flock through dirty mud and make them look raggedy because they're scared of them. They're scared of that doggone pulpit. I got a pool thing too. It's made of plastic, so you can use it. So man, they're so scared you get behind that pulpit and outshine them. That's why she's so nasty and mean. That's all that was. But guess what? My wife didn't disrespect her because she's made in the similitude of God. Look at this, y'all. Similitude, the qualities or state of being similar to something. Conrad uses a range of constructions which express or imply similitude. Look, the biblical context of it, this is what we want to go about, okay? In the Bible, the term is used to describe visible likeness or representation of God or a divine truth. That's what he's talking about. A similitude of a situation also, or of something that God has moved and done. You follow me, Sergio? Humans are described as being made in a similitude or image of God. You see what I'm saying? I like that image. There's a guy I played the game with sometime, but his attitude is so amazing. His name is Trey. He's on here now. He's like, he's in a similitude of a son to me. I like him. like a son. The dude's phenomenal. I met him. His heart's for God. He's real for who he is, and he's so loving. And he talks to my son Sergio, and just really got that big brother attitude. He's in the similitude of God. I like that about him. You see, that's what that similitude means. Look, prophetic imagery, prophets often spoke in similitudes using visions and parables, convey complex messages, described as being made a similitude to some image of God. That's pretty much what it says. And that's what we just read. Then we just, I'll make sure y'all Bible saw the same thing. See, we bless God, and with it, we curse men who are made in the similitude of God. That's what it said. And here we understand the difference, the context. That's why we have to be careful with God's people, because they're made in that similitude. We're still talking about power. Okay, power struggle here. God is my strength and power, and he makes my way perfect. Y'all catch that? Perfect. So that means this can be done. Your way can't be, you can't be perfect, but God can make a perfect way for you. Some of you say, hey, look, you've been through a whole lot in your marriage, and you still think you're married to the perfect person. Meaning you still know there ain't nobody else better than me. He's not perfect, but he's the perfect person. She's not perfect, but she's the perfect person. Even though that person may have their tongue might have brought hell in your life, and you let you walk to them trails of hell. You understand? Perfect. My way has been made perfect by God. Regardless, we can mess it up, but that way was made perfect. We understood the way. GPS told me the way to get something perfect before. The traffic messed it up. You understand? That stupid driver that came beside me messed it up. But GPS told me the perfect way, and I got there perfect way. You understand how y'all get that? Everybody cool with that analogy? The traffic was not perfect. The way was perfect. That, once again, it's because look at this word. I mean, it refers to physical strength, a person's inner capability. That's just there for you to read. The biblical use, a great commandment. Love your God with all your strength. Look at Mark 12:30. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and with all your mind, with all your strength. Strength then means power. Same word. That's what it is. It's because force or inner might. With all the power you have, love God. He give you power, use the power. You can take some of that same power God gave you to love him back with. It can mean authority, inner strength. Let's do another one. We got a little more time. Let's go. Jehoshaphat, we're going to be talking about this king, okay? He's the fourth king in the kingdom of Judah, right? He reigned for 25 years. Y'all can read that. There's a little bit of his controversial alliances. He was not a perfect king. I mean, he really he fouled up a lot of stuff. I mean, he would align himself with other kings that was wicked for some reason. He messed up a lot. He got some things right. You ever heard the phrase jumping Jehoshaphat? Well, there it is. It's a common phrase. It's found in the 19th century. It just basically expressed surprise or alarm, and it came from him. That's Jehoshaphat. He was, he had his ventures. Okay, that's just up there for you to read and go back and look at this, pause it, take your time on it. But Jehoshaphat was under a fight here. We're going to read about this fight. Ammon, Moab, and there's more of them came to attack Jehoshaphat because he had a lot going for himself. So of course he's coming to fight him. Okay, a little upset. Hold on one second. Let's see. Okay, there you go. I'm sorry, guys. Here we go. So in the middle of his war, not even a war yet, they're in the middle of them coming to attack Josephat. I want you to see what he did, because this first session here is called Praise. Okay. It happened after that people of Moab with people of Ammon and others with them beside the Ammonites came to battle against Josephat. He minded his business. They're coming to attack. The blessings of God was on him. Then some came and told Josephat, saying, a great multitude is coming against you and beyond, from beyond the sea, from Syria. And they have the Hazazon Tamar, which is called En-Gedi. And this is a garden that Solomon wrote about when he was talking about he was courting, in a love story he was courting. And then also David hid here in this garden when he was running. So verse 3, and Jehoshaphat feared and set himself to seek the Lord and proclaimed a fast throughout all Judah. Y'all want to live? Fast. I ain't fasting for you. Can't nobody fast for you. You want to live fast. They can fast with you. Okay. So Judah gathered together to ask help from the Lord. And from all the cities of Judah, they came to seek the Lord. And let's go find out what God is doing. Then Jehoshaphat stood in the assembly of Judah and Jerusalem in the house of the Lord before the new court and said, now look, if somebody was coming to fight me with a bunch of people, I'm going to get my pistols and I'm going to call my kids up and say, y'all load up. There's some people that's going to try to do me some harm. Let's put them in the earth. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, the Mike, I'm calling you, Kendrick, calling little Mike, everybody coming over here, calling Trey. Y'all load up. Let's put these dudes under the earth. We ain't about to play with this dude. He ain't about to come to my house hurt me. Thomas, load up. Saying, I'm just being honest with y'all. I know I'm not here, but I'm trying to get that. I told you I'm trying to get the code, so I can have access to the power of God. I'm with you guys in this. I'm teaching myself. Look what happened. Oh Lord God of our fathers, are you not the God in heaven? And do you not rule over the kingdoms of the nation? Now, which one of y'all ever said that when you was upset and somebody was coming to harm you? Your job, or they about to come cuss you out. Who stopped and said that? You might have prayed, God, don't let that person. I'm telling you, Lord, that boy, we get mad. Look. And in your hands, look at this. Is there not power and might so that no one is able to withstand you? God, are you not all powerful? And he's not saying it like questioning God. He said, you have the power to take care of this mess for me. I'm not even gonna worry about it. Ain't that something? Look what it says. Our God, will you not judge them? If I'm wrong, God, fix me. If I'm supposed to get attacked, okay, it need to happen. But look, judge them. For we have no power against this great multitude that is coming against us, nor do we know what to do. But our eyes are upon you. We'll be trying to figure plans out or how to fix something. When he said no power against, he's not talking about militant. He's not just saying he lacks an army. He's admitting he lacks the innate ability to change the outcome. That's that word core I use here. He don't have the ability to change the outcome, even if he had the army. By admitting they have no co-op to see what to see there, the people are acknowledging that the human resources, strength, money, and planning are insufficient. If we had all that we needed, we couldn't change the outcome of what you want done. Money will not change the outcome of God's divine plan for your life. You can go try to buy your way out of it if you want. God, I saw that. I messed up. But I tell you what, I give $1,000,000 to the church next week. Now, if you go to his grace, get 1,000,000, but you're still gonna get what you're gonna get. Don't think that God not gonna punish you when you get 1,000,000. I'm gonna take that first. Then I'm gonna tell you you're still gonna get punished. I can't tell you that first because you might take the money back. We'll stop there. We got to keep reading this story because I want you to see as we go through the story what happens next when they're coming to get him. They're gonna come to fight against him. Y'all know how it is. But what happens next with this whole thing? We're gonna get back into that, okay? But we're gonna stop right there. I don't want to go too far into this and then we mess our time up. Who? Hold on a minute. All right. I love this. Let's stop this. All right. There we go. I'm having trouble, guys. Give me 1 minute. I'm always having trouble. Some of this stuff I actually worked through before I get on here. I said, let me figure this out. And then when I get on here, I say, uh-oh, don't know what I'm doing. And something goes wrong for me, or there's no power for me in the middle of this. That's what happened. It's cool. That's the power. If there's no power for it for me, that's all right. I'm going to figure this out. There we go. That's it. That's our last page. That's who you are. Thank you guys from joining in. You guys are phenomenal. Thank y'all for spending your time in God's word. As we go through this, we're not going to rush through it. I promise you, but you're going to get the meat out of it. We'll go through this word. We're going to understand power struggle and you're going to learn it. I guarantee you're going to get something out of this to where you understand a little bit more about God's power and how to access it. And my prayer and hope is that you see this change in your life, that you begin to access it like, wow, miracles are real. I don't want to play church here. I want the actual miracles to happen. I want the testimonies to come back. I don't want you to just get up and yell and shout and the song was good and you left and we feel good about ourselves. I want you to say, let me tell you how healing will happen. Let me tell you, I know somebody that went off to heaven last week and how God moved on them before they left. That was a miracle because they made it. Let me tell you, you think it's a miracle to make it to heaven. Boy, the way we live that life, it's a miracle to make it to heaven. I mean, you talking about folks that I want to see financial situations shift and change. I want folks running that couldn't walk last year. I want them running this year. That's what I want. I want to see these miracles happen. That's why we're doing this sermon, power struggle, because we're talking about worship being a pull on God's power, faith pulling God's power, obedience pulling God's power. And guess what? A struggle. The enemy see this. He ain't gonna like it. And that's the last session. He gonna step up and say, uh-oh, nah, let's distract. Let's do whatever we can to mess it up. So therefore, there is no power pool. He don't want to have that for us. Okay. So bless everybody. I thank you guys for showing up, man. Seriously, this has been great. You're wonderful. Somebody gonna curse me. I don't know if y'all be reading these chats, but oh my goodness. I just saw that. I couldn't saw that. I'm gonna be laughing. I try not to laugh. I try to teach this work. I got a lot to give out in 45 minutes, but I like the joke. Oh, I thank you. May blessing, look, favor of God be on you. I hope this starts your year off the right way. If you want to hear this sermon any next year, we're going to be working on our website again, getting our website back up and going, and working on the app, getting it back up and going this year. We're going to get it going. It don't take long. We have great people that's phenomenal that can do it. The hearts for doing it, hearts for God, and also you'll be able to give there, and you'll be able to catch up on other sermons there. Okay, we're going to keep some word out there for you. Bless you all, and see you next week.